Meet Phillip Schofield. Phillip Schofield has presented a show called This Morning for over 20 years. This Morning is a daytime talk show that's aired 6 days a week. I'm not 100% sure on what time it's on, but I got a feeling it's before lunchtime. Since 2009, Phillip Schofield has co-hosted the show with a woman named Holly Willoughby. As one of the UK's only attractive women, Holly Willoughby made a good choice for presenter because people actually didn't mind looking at her. She got her start on This Morning due to the rapport she had with Phillip Schofield. They were always well known for their affable and warm relationship. People really genuinely believed they got on well together. As far as I was aware, there were no scandals surrounding the pair. That said, after retrospectively digging a little deeper, I did find one rumour, a particularly damning rumour, that's been following Phil for quite a while. But we'll get into that a bit more later. Stay tuned. For now, let's pretend there were no rumours and everyone genuinely believed that Holly and Phil were great friends, which, to be fair, at the time was the general consensus of the public. In fact, you could say criticism didn't really start until September 17th, when Holly and Phil cut the line to go and watch Queen Elizabeth II lie in state at Westminster Hall. If you don't know what that means, let me explain. And for viewers of The Crown, you might want to block your ears for a few minutes because there's some spoilers coming. First of all, do you remember the Queen? Well, she's dead. Yeah. And when she died, someone stuck her in a box and put it in public for people to see, like she's Vladimir Lenin or Kim Il-sung. And while she was stuck in this box, people were encouraged to wait in line and view her. That was a condition, though. They had to wait in line. Now, if you can believe it, Holly and Phil skipped the queue, or the line, for you Yanks. As you can imagine, this was a national scandal. People literally wouldn't stop talking about it for ages. If you check the newspapers in England in that period, you'd be forgiven for thinking that the Ukraine war took a week off for its holidays. All anybody was talking about was how despicable it was that Philip and Holly had the audacity to skip the line. If you ask me, the only people that were getting annoyed were mentally deranged, unemployed people, which is a combination bound to catalyse some fiery reaction. And I know some people will say, you can't say all those people were all unemployed. But hear me out. According to The Independent, around 250,000 people paid their respects in person to the Queen by viewing her coffin as it lay in state in London. And when I asked Bard, Google's ChatGPT, how many people were unemployed in London last September, I was informed that the number was around 238,000, which, rounding up, is 250,000. Adds up. Now, the next big scandal to rock Philip's world came this year when we learned he had a brother called Timothy. Unfortunately, that wasn't the entirety of the news. We didn't just learn that Phillip Schofield had a brother. We learned that Phillip Schofield had a paedophile brother called Timothy. So it's the same guy, by the way. He didn't have two brothers called Timothy. One was a pedo, one wasn't. Now, I'm not entirely sure why Phillip Schofield got so much heat for this. Some people say it's because Phillip Schofield kept this a secret, but I think that's an unfair criticism. Phillip Schofield is a daytime television presenter. Sure, there's being candid and personable, but I don't think that entails telling your audience of 1 million viewers that your brother Timothy has just started dating a 7-year-old. Maybe there are a few people that might appreciate the transparency, but I think the vast majority of people would say, what the hell is he bringing this up? Is he encouraging it? And this brings me on to the thing that I found most interesting about this topic to begin with, and that's the strange divide you see between the discussable topics on the internet and television. Up until now, I've only discussed the topics which have been discussed on television. Where television's concerned, no one's really made their mind up what it is that he's done wrong. Sometimes skipping the queue is the issue, other times it's this paedophile brother, and some people just say he's a nasty bloke and karma's catching up to him. The internet, however, is the perfect environment for rumours to germinate. On the one hand, it gives whistleblowers a voice who would otherwise be unable to make their point known. On the other hand, this means that genuine voices can be diluted in a sea of nonsense and conspiracies. Like that one that says Phillip Schofield faked the moon landing. Now we're coming to that rumour that I hinted at earlier. And this rumour has been circulating for a few months that I've been aware of. It could have been for a few years. The rumour goes like this. Allegedly, and I will say allegedly because I don't want to get sued by Phillip, the story goes that Phillip Schofield groomed a boy named Matthew McGreevy. Apparently, Schofield first met McGreevy when he was a teenager. What I want to know is, how did Schofield convince everyone he was a teenager? He doesn't look anywhere near as baby-faced as McGreevy does. And his hair is grey. Now, I don't want to speculate too much on the details here because it's all hearsay. What I find unusual, though, is how Phillip Schofield has been treated by his bosses and colleagues at ITV. He was fired, by the way, because their reaction seems extreme when we judge his crimes on the narrative that they're pushing out, which is that he skipped a line and has a brother that nons his kids. What's strange is that their reaction seems more in line with the allegations you have around him on the internet. Well, that's my 2 cents on the issue. And before I say bye-bye, don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.